Kris Armstrong had one rule for the man she married: love her and her ex-husband too. Not just accept him, but help care for him. And it wasn't a test, it was a promise.
I met my high school sweetheart, Brandon Smith, when I was 16 and he was 15. And we fell in love in high school like a lot of people do.
In 2008, everything changed for Brandon when a truck slammed into his vehicle.
Brandon was in a car accident and he was T-boned by a moving truck and sustained severe traumatic brain injury and was in a coma for 2 months. At 24 years old, I was looking for a nursing home for my husband.
Kris became his full-time caregiver. But to keep caring for him and to protect him, she decided to divorce him.
It was incredibly hard, but I moved him back to the nursing home and at that point started to realize what it would look like for me to take care of myself well enough so that I could take care of him. I started to look into what it would potentially look like to move forward on a divorce, but also could I be his guardian, his legal guardian. Thankfully, I found a lawyer who understood. I told her nothing's going to change. I will always take care of him. If I meet somebody, it will be somebody that will love Brandon as well.
She kept her promise and became his legal guardian. And then she met the man who helped her keep that promise.
I met my now husband, James. We met online, and then when we met in person for the first time that weekend, and he met Brandon that weekend. I went to the bathroom at one point and I came back and James's arm was around Brandon. And Brandon, sitting in his wheelchair, and we'd bring him home every week to the house. It takes James and I both to change him, transfer him, that sort of thing. Every time Brandon comes over, he gives him a hug. Brandon, I love you.
Kris first told her family's very complicated story in 2023. Since then,
his world has gotten bigger in this unique way. I've heard from so many people that have said, just watching the story has helped me not to feel so alone as a caregiver. The ups and downs, the beautiful parts, but also the really hard parts where there's suffering and pain. You're hearing of all kinds of people's stories out there. We get to see people that are different from us, and I think that creates empathy in our hearts because we feel connected to them and we get to hear about their journey, and then we get to see people maybe who are similar to us. It's been a beautiful, back and forth.
If their story makes you think about what love really means, tell them in the comments, because I know they'll be reading them. Oh, and one more thing. James says that if by some miracle Brandon is ever healed, he wants Kristen to be with Brandon again. And if Kristen dies before Brandon does, James says that he will fight for custody of Brandon to ensure that Brandon still has an advocate.